All right, welcome back to part 2, creating this round graduated shape. We've already cut the back and sides in part 1. Now it's time to connect the top in, refine the shape and style the shape. Today I also wanted to talk about understanding your own value. I personally believe most barbers and stylists are undervalued. Not that the client doesn't value you, your time, your expertise, or your service, but mainly more that most barbers don't get paid in line with what they actually deliver. The haircutting standards have raised dramatically over the past 5 years, but prices of services haven't risen along with it. And I mean, one of the biggest things I see in this industry is people taking courses in education, going back to work and then changing nothing in terms of the prices. But what you've just done is spent a chunk of money on some education, refining your craft, improving yourself, becoming more valuable, and then you do nothing. You're supposed to transfer that value over to the client. Meaning that when you add more value to yourself, you're becoming a better barber and a better stylist. Who are you getting better for? Who is the last person to benefit from your development and skills being elevated? It's the client. The client now receives a better haircut with more efficiency, more consistently. The value should be transferred to the client. In the corporate world, what they will do is they'll send their team out to a seminar, like a 2-3 day seminar. And then when they come back from the seminar, the prices of the services will increase for the company. So let's say you've got a marketing agency. They'll send some of their team out to this seminar to go and learn from some big names in the industry. They'll learn how to improve themselves so they can get better results for their clients. Therefore, their services are now more valuable and now their rates are now higher. This is the normal world. Outside of the hair industry, people make an investment in themselves, their business and their brand. That value is then transferred to the client, so the prices are always increased, yet barbers and stylists don't do it. And I think it comes down to fear. Fear of losing clients, thinking if I put my prices up, I'm going to lose clients. And yes, you might lose some clients if you do it the wrong way. There's a wrong way and there's a right way. Most people do it the wrong way, and that's why they're scared to lose clients. Let me show you what I'm doing here though real quick. From part 1 of this video, we did the round graduation here. Now I just want to connect the top into the back and sides. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a section. I'm going to clip the top section to hold it in place. And now I get to focus on only this section of hair that needs to be connected. I'll find the guide underneath. And I will start about here in the middle. I bring the section down, find my guide, and I cut. And I'm going to work my way to the front. And then into the back, following the head shape round. Back to losing clients, or fear of losing clients. And it comes from just putting your prices up. So I have a student inside my mentorship, and he's just about to put his prices up. And I said, just hold off on just increasing your prices, because if you just stick your prices up with no proof of added value to the client, this is how you're going to lose the most amount of clients. But if you explain to these clients what you're doing in terms of investing in yourself and you show them the investment that you're making by documenting the process, talking about it when you're cutting the hair, they will see over time that you've become more valuable for them. Starting in the middle again. Find the guide underneath, connect, and work to the front. But once you document the process of investing in yourself and you show them that you're doing it regularly, they will see and appreciate that you are now more valuable. And given a little bit of time of showing up and showing them that you're doing this regularly, not just a one-time thing, they will see that you take yourself seriously, you take the craft seriously, and you clearly care about the client experience and service. And then when you put your prices up, the clients will be able to see that you are obviously worth more to them. You can provide a better service and a haircut to them. And you're going to lose the least amount of people this way. Isn't that exactly what you want? To be able to increase your prices and lose the least amount of clients, if any? Of course it is. Why wouldn't you want to be able to earn more from what you do for a living? But the reality is most people fear increasing their prices because they're not actually doing anything to add more value to themselves or their services or their experience. Therefore, they are scared to lose clients because they don't feel more valuable themselves. And if you don't feel more valuable yourself, of course you're going to be scared about increasing your prices and losing clients. Because clients will just be like, well, why should I pay £5 or $10 more for the same? It doesn't make any sense. I'll just go to the barber on the next chair then next time. You're not doing anything different. So you need to show them why you're now worth more. Okay, you still might lose some, but I guarantee you will lose a lot less doing it this way. And I had a conversation with a guy from Australia, and he actually put his prices up. And he said he lost about 3 to 5 clients. Next month, 3 out of those 3 to 5 clients booked back in with him because they tried somewhere else for cheaper. Service and the haircut wasn't the same, the experience wasn't the same, the result wasn't the same. And they had to come back and they realized the value of this barber and was like, I can see why you charge a bit more. And those clients, I guarantee, when he goes through this whole system that I teach, once he puts his prices up again, those clients won't go anywhere. Those will be the first ones to approve of the increase and appreciate that he's making more room for them to get in. And they'll understand and appreciate it. They'll be the last ones to leave this time. They might have been the first ones to leave before, but they'll be the last ones to leave this time. I've connected one side in. Now I'm going to connect this side. But yeah, I think lots of barbers are undervalued, lots of stylists are undervalued, but it's because you come and do education, don't realize the value that you just added to yourself, and then don't increase your prices. I think once more people start realizing that education is an investment and that added value should be transferred to the client, the whole industry will get raised in terms of standards, and clients will start to see that if people want a high quality haircut and a high quality service, they're going to have to pay a more premium price for it. Now, I've taken a section, it's just the same on this side. I pick up the section in the middle, find the guide underneath, work my way forward, and then work my way back. There are going to be people who do education and understand and believe the value they've just added to themselves should be transferred to the client, and will do so by increasing their prices. And there are people who just stay exactly where they are, wondering how on earth people are charging the rates that they're charging. And I had a call with a guy who inquired about the Hair Founders program, and he hadn't put his prices up in 3 years. He's done classes of education every 6 months for 3 years, never raised his prices once. Can you imagine how much value he's adding to himself, to his services and his clients? Because he said he didn't realize and didn't understand that that value is supposed to be transferred to the client. Well, it doesn't really make sense, really. If you think about it, the reason why you don't charge what you charged when you were starting out, let's just say £10 a haircut or $10 a haircut to get started, the reason why you don't charge that anymore is because you are more practiced, you're more consistent, you get better results, which means you're now worth more. Then you get to the point in which where you're at now, you're charging a similar rate to everybody else in your shop and in your area, and then you just stop. Well, if practice, development, showing up, elevating your craft and your skills and your service got you from £10 or $10 a haircut to £30 or $50 a haircut, why not continue the same trajectory where continue developing, continue to improve your services, your craft and your skills and your knowledge, and continue to raise your prices. All that happens when you continue to develop yourself is you separate yourself from everybody else. I know barbers who are unbelievable at cutting hair, and they charge the same as everybody else in their shop. Yet they are significantly better than everybody else in their shop. And the reason they don't put it up is because they're scared to lose clients to the other people who are cheaper. So they completely devalue themselves based on the fear that they might lose some clients to the guy next door. I promise you, the future of this industry is going to be led by those who have a higher standard, hold a higher standard, deliver a higher standard, and everybody else will follow suit. There will always be someone who's going to charge less than you, always, but there's always going to be people who charge more than you as well. Meaning, there's people out there who want to pay more, and if there are people out there who charge more than you in your area, then you have room to grow. I think the whole scared of losing client situation is, it's a bit redundant. You will lose some clients, but you will also gain new clients. Let me ask you this then. When was the last time you heard of anybody increasing their prices and going out of business? Doesn't happen. Just doesn't happen. It's all in your own head. You're not going to go out of business. Usually what happens is you will increase your prices. You might lose a couple, but the couple that you lose just frees up your time to spend on either getting more clients in at a higher price, or allows you to free up your time to do whatever the fuck you want with, and you're either still making slightly a bit more than you was before, or you're making exactly the same, but you've freed up some time and space in your calendar. I don't see the problem with that. Now, all this talk about increasing your prices, and I'm just going to make sure everything's connected in here in both sides, which is a little bit of disconnection here. All this talk about increasing your prices, I've had this conversation in my DMs where it's like, is that all you're doing now, talking about money? It's not always about money. Exactly what I just said. It frees up, increasing your prices can free up your time. Some people just want to increase the prices a bit so that they can make the same as what they're making now, but work less hours. For example, I have a guy who has a family. He just wants to have breakfast with his family at a reasonable time in the morning before his kids go to school. He wants to start at 9 a.m. instead of 8 a.m. so he can have breakfast with his family every morning, 5 days a week. So what he needs to do, he needs to elevate himself, elevate his prices a little bit so he can still earn the same as what he would earn, but working 5 hours less per week. So he's going to start an hour later, 5 days per week. He doesn't need to put them up by much, but can you imagine the value in what he gets out of elevating his prices a little bit by increasing his service and his skills, and now he gets to have breakfast with his family every day for the rest of his life. It's not always about earning more money. It's not always about just this magical $100 haircut. It's about moving inside an industry that is commonly known as a lifestyle industry. It's a lifestyle career. So why don't we go back to the drawing board, back to the plan and go, okay, how do I want my life to look? How do I want my days to look? What values do I now have than what I didn't have when I first started? And how do I make this work around my ideal lifestyle? What do I need to do in my business with my clients and my prices to be able to make this work around my new values and my new situation and my new ideals? I don't think people question this enough. I think they got into barbering at some point many, many years ago and think they've just got to live by the same rules based on the principles that they had when they started. And they never stop to reconfigure or even re-question what it is that they want now or in the near future. Because the simple idea, like once you have a family, your values have changed a bit. You now have a different hierarchy of importance. Your family is your number one priority, I would assume. So here we've got a little bit of disconnection here. And if that's the case, something might have to change within your work schedule for you to be able to live and work in harmony, not one restricting the other. Otherwise, you'll just end up resenting barbering and trying to escape the chair. You don't need to escape the chair. You just need to design the business around your current life. If you want to work 4 days a week instead of 5, how much more do you need to increase your prices by to earn the same amount as you would working 5, but only by working 4? It's pretty simple maths. And let's say you need to go up by £5 to do that per haircut. You go, okay, what do I need to do with my services and my expertise so that I'm now worth £5 more per service? That's all you need to do. Once you have the answer to those, that's when your life starts to slot in around your business. Your business now works around your life and not the other way around. And you actually enjoy both. We're not trying to, this is already quite a tiring industry. We're on our feet all day. We're hearing people talk all day. We have music going on. It's very, very highly stimulating, and my social battery drains pretty quickly in those scenarios. So what do I need to do to make everything work for each other so that I don't start to resent the work? Because the energy I have now for standing up all day is less now than it was than when I started cutting hair at 24. When I was cutting hair at 24, I could work 7 days a week. Now I don't have the energy for that. My energy is prioritized, compartmentalized for different parts of my life. I have other priorities that I need to allocate time and energy for. So my values have changed. So my business has to change to suit it. You're allowed to change things along the way. The reason why we're getting cutting hair in the first place is because it gives us the freedom and the flexibility to be able to do that, and then people just forget. They go, here's my fucking 15 clients a day, 5 days a week. That's all I can do for the rest of my life. And they go, I don't know how to change this, so I'm gonna look on how to escape the chair. Completely forgetting that everything can be manipulated to suit you and what you want. It's the whole point of this industry. This shape is all nicely connected in, both sides. and at the back. Now, I just need to dry the top, style it into a position that it's going to be with no product, put some products in, and then we're gonna refine the shape at the end. Blow dry is now done. I'm going to put some product in just to give it a little bit of hold and directional style. I'm using, it's kind of a matte clay, but it's got, I don't know, it feels a little bit, it's got a little bit of shine to it, tiny bit of shine. But I'd say it's 90% matte clay. Just running it through. Don't want to start rubbing it in too much because it's a doll's head, it's just going to give it way too much volume and I don't need that. Just coming through with a wide tooth comb, remove any knots from there and give it that directional style. Check the shape and the silhouette of what we've created as well. You really get to see the strength of what you've created with your cut when you style something quite clean as opposed to messy and textured and choppy where you can kind of hide some things. So I'm not putting loads in. I don't need loads of hairspray. The structure of the cut itself is holding everything in place along with the blow dry and the product. Might need a little bit more on the side part so it stops it from falling. I'm quite happy with how that's looking in terms of the shape and the structure of what we've created. Now I'm just going to refine the shape to make it look a little bit more finalized. So for example, on this side, I could either clip this up so he's keeping his sideburns long and tucked behind his ears. But I think I might actually scissor this off, a little bit of scissor over comb, but I just want to separate the hair that I do want from the hair that I don't. So I'm going to put a little clip in that just to hold it in place while I cut this sideburn. And I still have a graduation within this section as well, so it's slightly getting longer towards the top. So it'll connect into this. Might not connect fully into this, but at least it's like not completely all one length bald. It's actually got a bit of a graduation in there. So that this hair could, so visually it connects into this much easier. It might not actually connect, but visually there won't be such a strong disconnection. Place a clip in this just to protect what I'm not cutting from what I am. Same again. Comb can come in and then comes out to make sure I'm creating a graduation. Bring the scissor up, refine this. Just connect this in. I think I might soften this nape out a little bit though. Nothing too crazy, nothing too fancy, just a simple round graduation, or classic graduation, whatever you want to call it. But in terms of shape, we followed the head round, and the structure we've created vertically is a build-up of weight, which give us this kind of shape. That is all for this video, and if you liked it, let me know in some way, shape or form. Maybe leave a comment or something, send me a message on Instagram, whatever you want to do. If you're interested in learning how to work with me and how can I help you raise your cutting standards through precision cutting, shape creation in mid to long haircuts, and maybe even raising the value of the services that you deliver so you can raise your prices, then hit me up on Instagram and we can take it from there.